Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. How's everybody doing today? Happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers and mother figures. Want to make sure y'all can hear me, so put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Okay, thanks for that. So let me see who I have here in the chat so far. Looks like I have Janice. Hey, Janice. Who that? Hey, who that? Vaughn. Hey, Vaughn. I said what I said. Hey, I said what I said. And Abril. Hello, others had a wonderful Mother's Day. I didn't do too much, which was good. I was tired yesterday. Hey, Shadow, but it was a wonderful day. Senna is here. Hey, Senna. Glad you could make it. So, yeah, I had a wonderful day yesterday. Actually, got some seafood, which was great. How was y'all's Mother's Day? Did anybody go out? Hey, Charlie's Angel. How are you? I hope you got my message yesterday. I told someone to tell you Happy Mother's Day. I hope they gave you the message. So I'm going to, oh, you went back to the ocean. Okay, Abril. I know you had a nice day. Great. Thanks, Charlie's Angel. Hey, SBK. How are you? Thanks for joining. So everybody's speaking. So, oh, okay, Abril. I'll read it when I get off the live if I receive it. Okay, SBK, keep working hard for the money. Okay, Bond. Okay, I'm just highlighting comments, y'all. I'm getting ready to get started in a minute. Yes, please thumbs up the live. Senna and Vaughn saying, I'm not looking at the likes right now, so I hope everyone is liking the live. I appreciate you all. Hey, Wanda. Thanks for joining. Happy belated Mother's Day to you as well. Hey, Foxy to Voxy. Okay, so let me go ahead and ask this question. Y'all see the title. Are you afraid to fly? That's the question. Are you afraid to fly? Put put a Y. Yes. Well, yes, you're afraid to fly, and put an N if you're not afraid to fly. Hey, Els, thanks for joining. Y for yes, and N for no. Hey, Miss Jazzy, how are you today? Hey, Real, thanks for joining. How are you today? So, Foxy says she's not afraid to fly. Real says no. So, Charlie's Angel, right now I'm talking about a plane. Senna says no. SBK says if he missed anyone, he apologizes. Janice is speaking. Wanda says she is afraid to fly. Janice says she's afraid to fly. Hey, Larry. Thanks for joining. Who that says she's not afraid to fly? Bond says she's been on two planes she'd rather drive. Hey, Marjan, thanks for joining. I said what I said She can't say yes or no. She says yes and no. That's what she said. Hey, Scorpio Mama. Thanks for joining. Anybody else want to answer the question? Are you afraid to fly? Senna says, don't be scared, Wanda. Charlie's Angel said, no, she's not afraid to fly. Shadow says, his first flight was to Chicago. Yes, he was afraid. But are you afraid now, Shadow? Well, that said no. Abril said, no, we are going to Atlanta on Wednesday and we are driving from Seattle. And we have free flight benefits. So, you know, we don't feel so, we don't feel safe. Okay, Abril. Marjan says she still thinks that flying is safer than driving. Okay. Okay, Janice. Wanda says, exactly, I've flown many times, but I think it'll be a while before I get there now. A man in office is playing around too much. Abril said, used to fly 2 to 3 times a month, my kids several times a week. Now none of us have flown because of the constant issues. Scorpio says, hey to everybody. Larry said he's not afraid to fly. Marjan says she's flying next month. Scorpio says, yes, ma'am, especially with what is going on. Vaughn says she's not flying anywhere right now. Oh, wow. um, um, I read your comment, Marjan, but I'm not going to put that on the screen. I'll let everybody in the chat read it, but yeah, I'm not going to put that up there. That's not going to help anybody who's afraid to fly. Shadow says turbulence scares me, and with current events, I'll take Amtrak when they get it together. Who that says I love a window seat where I can watch takeoff and landing. Once we're above the clouds, I just settle in and rest, sleep. Love flying. Bond says, my aunt invited me to Mexico. All I had to pay for was my clothes and hair. baby, when they planes when the planes got to acting crazy, she said no. Okay, Mom. Hey, Gertrude. Thanks for joining. Dawn said she knew it was a problem if she wasn't getting on a plane. That she's talking about her aunt. Thanks, Abril. Janice says only if there's an emergency. She and I have to be there like yesterday, then I'll get on a plane and pray for safe landing. I said what I said, so I won't be flying anywhere for the next 3.5 years, not until Agent Orange leaves office. Okay. Who that says that she was in real bad turbulence only once. She said laughingly to God, okay, if this is okay, if this is it, so be it. Okay. Yes, they are funny. Real. So what's my next question? Um, for the ones who said you're afraid of flying, some of you already answered the question. Um, what happened to make you afraid? So a lot of people don't want to fly because of current circumstances, which I can't blame anyone. One said that man was elected. Did I miss something? Oh, okay. She said, I agree. I said what I said. I swear I don't trust him or his people. That's how a lot of people are feeling these days. So I'm gathering that the next question is going to be, do you see a possibility of your mind changing in the future? And I'm assuming, I'm assuming, okay, Wanda, I'm assuming that once, like I said, what I said in 3.5 years, maybe some people will change their minds. Hey, Miss Buckeye. Okay, thanks. Thanks for stopping by. So let me tell y'all a little bit about me. So Foxy says, yes, anything is possible. Indeed. So I said what I said. Says, yes, I will resume business as usual when Agent Orange leaves and we got someone in office with some sense. Doggone a grill. I said what I said. I know that's right, sis. Wig ain't bout to have me in the Hudson next. Okay. Hello, Chill Will crew. How are you? You say you get a little nervous, but you fly at least twice a year. Okay. All right, Marjan. I had a joke for you, Marjan, but I'm not even going to do that. So, a little about me when it comes to flying. The first time I got on a plane, like Shadow said, I was nervous. I was so glad to get to my destination and back home safely. However, it was many years afterwards before I traveled on a plane again. I'm starting some of y'all's comments. I'm gonna read some more comments after I finish talking. So it was many years afterwards before I traveled on a plane again. Actually, years later, after 9/11, I said to myself and others that if God wanted me to fly, He would have given me wings. And for many years, I felt that way. However, in 2015, I had to attend a business trip that was more than 1,000 miles away. That was when I finally got enough nerve to put my nervousness to the side. Afterwards, I traveled by plane regularly over the next 4 years. Currently, I don't have a need to travel anywhere that I have to get to by car. I don't have the need to travel anywhere that I can get to by car or SUV. So today's scripture verse comes from 2 Timothy 1:7, and this is the King James Version. For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. If we were to be truly honest with ourselves and others, many of us would admit that we may be okay with traveling by plane, but we're still afraid to fly. I'm going to say that again. If we were to be truly honest with ourselves and others, many of us would admit that we may be okay with traveling by plane, but we're still afraid to fly. We are afraid to take chances in life, oftentimes because of fear of failure. Oftentimes, we're focused on what will happen if we fail, instead of focusing on what could happen if we succeed. Let's face it, failure is never really failure if you learn from it. Failure is a part of success. If you never put forth your wings, take off, and fly, the chances of you never reaching your fullest potential are great. Listen, if God has placed something in you, don't ignore it. He's placed it in you because He knows that you can do it. Stop being fearful. Start spreading your wings and start flying. Don't continue to keep sitting around singing, I believe I can fly. Start flying. As Nike says, just do it. Someone who is watching you may never take off and fly because they are waiting for you to go first. Like it or not, you are someone's role model. If you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for them. After hearing this, you may still be afraid of flying. If so, I pray that you get the courage to spread your wings and begin to fly. You may not get to where you need to go immediately, but if you continue to fly, you will eventually get to where God has ordained you to be. I pray that this message has been a blessing to someone in this live or or someone watching the replay. So let me go back to what you guys were saying in the chat. Okay, Vaughn. Janice says, no disrespect, truth. Insurance is for our loved ones. It won't save me if, God forbid, the plane decides to take a swim or want to climb a mountain. Just saying. Okay, Vaughn. Charlie's Angel says, I'm planning the cruise and I'm a little nervous about being on a boat for so long. So I have to pick a struggle. I refuse to be afraid of the whole trip. Good for you. Janice says she's okay. She'll stay in her car for now. Vaughn says, she wished that I and her mama would get out of her business. Vaughn, I'm not in your business. Maybe a guy's trying to tell you something. Scorpio, we're gonna say that for the end, okay? I started your question. We'll save it for the end. Okay, Vaughn. Hey, Hassan. I'm doing great. How are you? Thanks for joining. That's right, Charlie's Angel. Tell her that's Jesus minding your business. Better listen to him. So let me go and look at these starred comments that I have. I said what I said. Said Agent Orange ain't fixing to be having my wig in the ocean somewhere or on the ground. That's why you pay too much for those wigs. Vaughn said, listen, God has not given us the spirit of fear, but he don't want us to be no fools either. Okay, Vaughn? Wanda said, I said what I said, you're speaking the truth. He has ruined it. Marjan says she got extra insurance just in case, but she has to fly. And like I said, Scorpio, I'm not ignoring you, but I will entertain your question at the end, okay? So I have the no, Marjan, they said that the plane hasn't been gifted yet. I have the link pinned in the chat. If anyone wants to come up, hit the link and come up, you can. So I'm going to go ahead and what's your question, Scorpio? What's your off-topic question? Senna says, hit the like. That's what Senna said. What's your question, Scorpio? Huh? Why would a lady younger than you want you to be a godmama to them? Maybe somebody else can answer that question. I don't know, Scorpio. The link is a link in proper English. But you know that real. It's pinned in the chat. Hey Shay. Does anybody have an answer for Scorpio? You said that your neighbor asked you. Your neighbor, let me see. Said my neighbor asked me yesterday. At first I said whatever. Then I thought about it and felt bad and apologized. Oh, let me go back up. Hey Tracy, how are you? Thanks for joining. So let me see if I can Hey real, hold on for a minute, okay? I'm looking for Marjan's answer. She said she answered. I'm trying to see. Marjan, I don't see an answer from you. Okay, so Santa says maybe they respect you a lot and are missing a good friend or mother figure in their life. I guess that's possible.
So somebody older than her or younger than her asked her that.
She says somebody, I guess it's an adult. I'm assuming that it's an adult that wants her to be their godmother.
Hmm. I mean, I've seen stuff like that. I guess it all depends on the person's mindset and where they are in life, because they could very well still be an adult and do adult things, but there's a part of them that probably sees a nurturing side or a mother figure, or that
Hmm.
she possesses qualities that are highly nurturing. So they probably ask that, like, "Oh, would you be my godmother?" Not, necessarily, "Oh, be my mom, take care of my needs,"
Uh-huh.
but because mom or not, whether you birthed a child or not, you could still have motherly qualities. Whether it's motivating people, helping take care of people, caring for them, being loving, being nurturing, being empathetic. Those
Hmm.
parts of the qualities are still instilled inside women. So you can be a mother without being a mother.
Scorpio says she be side eyeing folks.
Or they could just be on some freaky stuff like be my godmama, or I want to be your baby. Like, people put on a diaper or something. Who knows?
Uh, um, Janice says she has 15 godchildren and 10 god grandchildren.
Sheesh.
Wow.
That's a lot.
God bless you. Okay, so we're going to get back on the subject of being
Flying.
afraid to fly. So I'm going to bring Majan up, but I want to make sure, Majan, we want to stick to the subject
Oh, okay. You don't want me
of
to answer the last question?
um no, because we could be on that all day. I wanted
Okay.
to keep it to if you're afraid of flying.
My answer is, as far as I know, unless somebody contradicts me, even with everything happened, I think it's still more safer than driving. Uh,
Okay.
so no matter, even with what's happening, and I've always voted blue, but even with that, I think it's still safer because I understand with the regulations and everything is bad right now, but you still have flight. I think flight attendants have to get a whole lot to become a licensed pilot. Uh, and also, my niece is a flight attendant. They're they have a lot of regulations. Even if the federal government doesn't do the right thing, the airlines, that's a business. They're gonna want to do the right thing, and at least keep people, passengers flying because they're losing money. They lost money for that few years, couple of years back, and I think they want to make up their money. So, um, but that's just an opinion. But I think it's still a lot safer than driving, and I've driven more than between Arizona and Kentucky. It's during the winter months. There's always a lot of accidents, but I think it's still safer. I don't know. Mm.
Okay, well thank you for your opinion.
Thank you.
I respectfully disagree with you, but thank you for your opinion.
Because I'm almost close to 60, it's hard to drive from 2,000 miles away. 20 years ago, I could do it, but it's literally almost 2,000 miles from here to Kentucky, parts of Kentucky. So it's just too hard to drive that
Okay, that's
far.
understandable.
All right, bye. Thank you. Sorry.
Can you put me down as a beneficiary just in case? I'm just
Yes,
kidding.
ma'am.
I'm
I
just
will.
kidding. I'm
I
just
will
kidding.
add you.
I'm, I'm just kidding.
I was trying to refer to a joke about Tim. That's what that comment was. I figure you would understand what I'm talking about.
Okay. All righty. Thank you. Uh, okay. So
So can I ask you a question? So when you were talking about like flying, right?
mhm.
You know how my mind processes things. When I saw the description for the topic at hand, not only did I see it in a physical sense of flying, as in the human way, but I didn't know if you meant flying in a different way. Like if God gives you a blessing and he mounts wings on you to fly and go forth with a project or a subject. You didn't mean it in that way. You meant physical, like literal flying on a plane, right?
Did you hear my whole spiel?
I did so somewhat. I was multitasking while I was listening to you, so I partially heard.
Okay. So yeah, I started out with talking about flying in a plane, but I ended up talking about
While I laugh at
when taking chances in life. When God puts something in you and He wants you to fly, you're being afraid to take off, and how um, you're afraid. Some people are afraid to fail, but failure is a part of the process.
hmm
And and God has, the verse for the day is God hasn't given us the spirit of fear. 2 Timothy 1:7.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I was gearing towards.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
that's the exact way that I was thinking of it.
Well,
And
I'm going to always go scripture.
I was just gonna do that too.
Yeah.
And see, the thing is, right? A lot
Hey,
of the
I
stuff.
said what I said. Go ahead. I'm
eh,
sorry.
no, it's
Hey,
all right.
hey, Alice. Hey, Real.
Oh, no, you don't. Let me get my spiel up before you start talking. No, I'm just kidding. How are you? I said what I
I'm
said.
about to study you, Real. You go ahead.
So a lot of the stuff that I do say is and mention is scriptural based, but a lot of the scripture that we're so used to, a large
Mhm.
portion of it we're not used to hearing, or certain things that we've pulled out of there because we've basically attached ourselves to what we see on TV or what our pastors tell us, or what is mainstream. But if you go further out and branch out and actually read things for yourself, you can pull things from there. But anyways, so back to scriptural part of it. A lot of us can be given wings to fly and to complete a task for the Lord, or for God. And I know that sometimes it is mentioned that, oh, we're not supposed to fear, we're not supposed to be afraid. But that spirit of fear comes since when we fell from the garden. But going forward, we can look at some of the great people out of the scripture, out of the Holy Bible, out of God's truth, to see and realize that we aren't the only people that have gone through things. And even those who were given tasks or wings to fly and complete something great for the benefit of God or his will or the people, they were even afraid themselves. Some people might say, no, that's not true. Well, if you look at Jonah in the whale, he was given wings to fly to complete a task and to give a message and to do what he needed to do. But he became fearful and afraid of it. And y'all already know that story. He went out to the
Mhm.
sea, he went onto the boat, he didn't want to do it. And then, the people on the boat, they were casting lots to see which spiritual energy is flowing through whoever, where this is somebody's supposed to be doing something. And their lots figured out it was him. And they're like, you got to get off this boat. And then he kept trying to run when he was given a task to fly. Same thing if you look at Samson. He really didn't want to do it, but he was given a task to fly to defeat the Philistines. But that's why he would always question it and ask the Lord, this is really for me. Am I really supposed to be doing this? Like I don't really know about this. Give me a sign, and that's when the lion came out and put it in the headlock and tore his head off. So there's many instances that we can look at comparatively and apply that to our lives where situations have arose, but even though they did have fear, after a while, they still did go through with the task. So me bringing that up is basically saying they've gone through it. We might be going through something, but eventually they completed it. So if they were able to do it thousands of years ago, maybe we can mount up our wings and do the same thing too.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, I could keep going on with many excerpts and many of the comparisons from the Bible, but
Oh, I'm sure. I have no doubt that you can keep going on and on, brother.
low blow taken. So
I didn't mean it like that.
no, I don't.
Well, I do. We know you definitely can go on, baby.
Okay, twin. I said what I said. You do.
Let me help you out, Alice. We already know he can go all night if we allow him to.
No.
Let me interject.
Okay. Interjected.
Let me shut him down because he'll be up here all night. And Alice, I don't know how long she want to be on here, but let me go on and say what I need to say.
Say that.
Yeah, let me get mine on it.
Go ahead, Andy.
How you doing today, Real? You okay?
Right,
Yeah, I just had a lot of stuff going on, and then whenever I'm tasked with a whole lot of stuff, because I do multitask, it I almost said like I don't get sad, but it puts a mental toll because it's like, okay, I need to get this stuff done. I need to get this done, my family, my endeavors, my work. So it's just like I become kind of just shut out so I can make sure that I get everything done. So my mind likes to concentrate on getting stuff done. So then I know my usual chipper self kind of diminishes. So I get it.
So you been procrastinating?
Not when you have a whole lot of things to do and then you're like, okay, which one can I do first?
Yeah.
So
I got you.
my thing is I end up doing all four, but then hopping back and forth. Like, okay, let me do this, a little bit of this.
Not one of them.
Yeah, sometimes not. But then it's like I have good intentions. So
I got you.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to be off subject, but I got a few questions for Real. So did you do good? What you do for your mom for Mother's Day?
Well, I mean, for her benefit, I spoke with her and I gave her the proper sayings for it, even though I really don't like.
So you don't actually believe in Mother's Day? It sound like to me.
Well, if people knew what it was really for distressed mothers who lost all their firstborns through massacres, so then they celebrated the mothers and gave them a day. But
okay.
We've adopted that coming over here, like that's not our original traditions. If you're like from like Africa or Israel or back to the old Bible, the Old Testament, we didn't, because back then every day was mothers, like a special day for mothers, like it was actually a month. So to me, I look at things as
Vaughn.
Every day is Mother's Day.
Yeah,
like every day is just real,
Vaughn, blame me. I'm the one who asked him.
multitasking. Yeah, that's why it's good to stick with one thing and get it done. But I'll eventually get stuff done.
Well,
but back to that.
I'm gonna stick with this one subject then. So, as far as flying go, and I understand what Marjan is saying. However,
house or never.
House
or never.
Yeah, house or never. House or never. I'm not going nowhere to Agent Orange leave because he has fired too many air traffic controllers. The planes are still going down daily. They're just not reporting it nationally. But if you look at local news channels, like one just went down last week, right? Well, and so if you look at the local news channels, they're going to report it, but they're just not reporting it nationally. And in my opinion, they're trying to keep it on the low so that people won't be afraid to fly, so that the airlines can continue to make their money. And she's right. They do want to make their money. But if you don't have an air traffic controller out there telling you that it's another plane in the air, i.e., the Army just crashed with one last week because they didn't know they were in the space that the regular aircraft space. So if you don't know who's in the air and you don't have good traffic control, then there's a possibility that there may be a collision. And yes, it previously it has been scientifically and I'm a put emphasis on scientifically, or either the
Scientifically
studies,
studies
yeah,
documented. Mhm.
studies in quotes, quote, according to them, it is supposed to be safer to fly rather than to drive. But I've always felt more safer on the ground than I felt up in the air. Because if I'm on the ground, at least I have a little bit more control because I'm behind the wheel. But and you can't control what other drivers do, but you definitely can control what you do. So sometimes you can avoid, a collision if you're paying close enough attention and you see it in time. In an airplane, you don't have any control. You're dependent on somebody else, to behind the wheel. So that's the problem that I have with it at this point. Because previously, before he came in the White House, I was flying and doing it, living my life and going where I wanted to go, fly where I want to fly. But I'm not doing that no more until he leave and until they get some more qualified people that's in the air traffic control. And even not even just in the air, somebody they had a collision with the on the ground because they didn't know somebody got ran over trying to get the luggage out and stuff. And I know there may be a mishaps or that just happened or what have you. But the whole thing about it is none of this stuff was out there in the atmosphere until he came in office. And all of a sudden we started seeing all of these bad things going on with airlines. And so, yeah, you're not supposed to be living in fear, but God also gave us 5 cents.
Right.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I
so,
agree.
yeah. And so I'm going to go with my 5 cents and say, no, I ain't
Hmm.
going nowhere unless like Wanda, I'm going on the train or I'm driving myself because our Greyhound buses are almost dissipated in the state that I live in. Greyhound is, becoming distinct at this point. And so if I can't drive anywhere or get someone to drive me, then yeah, I'm not getting in the air because I don't trust it no more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tracy says godly wisdom. Amen.
Mhm.
Thank you, Tracy.
Mhm.
That I don't think that's fear. I think that's godly wisdom.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and there's a fine line between those both sayings, having fear and having godly wisdom. Because I think somebody actually wrote that earlier. We're not supposed to have fear, but don't be stupid with certain situations.
Hmm.
That don't mean like, oh, walk down the middle of the street in this dangerous hood place and then wear any color that you want and start cussing up a storm. Like,
Right, right. You
don't
got to
be
use your
stupid.
common sense that God gave you.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I didn't have any fear before he got in office because, it was safety. It was safe to fly. But at this point,
Hmm.
I just don't feel like that it's safe to fly at this point. And I'm not trying to scurry anybody. And this is just for me in my house. We're not
Right.
going nowhere on no planes. He's like
Mhm.
I said, he ain't finna have my wig in the ocean or on the ground.
She
Looking like a
worried
dead
about a wig.
raccoon.
Huh?
So
I
you
said,
Yeah.
worried about a wig.
Yeah, child, he even have my wig and clothes and all of that stuff costs money for me. And so at the end of the day, I am not finna be if I make it and then have me all banged up or in a casket or somewhere. No, ma'am, thank you. Thank you, but no thanks. Okay. So no, sir, I'm not going anywhere. And if my wig
exactly.
gonna hit the ground, it's gonna be because I'm having a wreck in my car. Other than that, I'm not going nowhere in the air because I don't trust it.
Yeah. A
Agree. I
lot of
mean,
people
yeah.
feel that way. And I
I
think
mean,
they're not talking about it, but I think airlines are probably losing a lot of money.
yeah, and it's just not here too. It's in
Yeah.
other places, provinces, and countries too. So because I noticed that it picked up in other places. Like if you look at like places like Thailand and what was it, like France and I forget another place, but like the Philippines and Germany, they got their plane classes that are up and up too. So part of me also thinks like, okay, yeah, maybe it could be him, but what if we're in some sort of cyber warfare and we just don't know
Exactly.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then our national security is not even safe enough.
yeah.
Like you're saying, who knows? You could be up in a plane and somebody else may just fire some missiles at it or what have you. I just don't trust Agent Orange right now. I don't trust this administration. I don't trust it. The way American life has happened, and I've always said, he really can't affect my life that much. But in actuality, he is affecting my life because he's stopping my movement, and he's really kind of stopping everybody's movement on the way that they move around. And at the end of the day, I don't advise anybody to leave the country if they want to come back, and I don't advise anybody to get on no plane if they want to see tomorrow. I'm just saying that's just how I feel about it. Now you can do what you want to, but this is just my opinion because of all the things that I seen on TV. And I'm watching. I'm not just watching national news. I'm subscribed to a lot of news channels, and like I said, they're not publicizing it on national news because, in my opinion, they're trying to keep it on the low low.
Yeah, it's going to scare people. It's going to make them be more in fear and everything. Just like it could be many things going on, and they'll, you know, hide it. Like if some people pass away or unalive, like the pilots they were driving and blah blah blah. It's like, how do we know that they just didn't get taken up? We don't know nothing. They can say anything to us right now, and then because they're very good at that stuff. But some people uh, I believe that some people's senses and discernment is higher than others. And then like you and Alice and all y'all here, and I feel like y'all are seeing past something that's just like inkling to y'all, like, nah, something ain't right, or
No,
I'm
it
being
ain't nothing spiritual. To me, it's common sense, and it's in this keeping up with what's going on, because we can't blame everything on spirituality. We can't blame everything on God, and we definitely can't blame everything on the devil. Some things are, like I said, that's the reason why we have
Mhm.
five senses to use them.
Yes,
And I'm not
I can
calling
agree with
anybody
that.
stupid or anything, but God gave us five senses for a reason.
You know what, and to agree with you on that, scripturally, that is true, because when God made the world back inside the First Testament, it does not mention anything of demons or anything like that. It said, I basically erased man because constantly in their hearts was evil. So sometimes it's not always, oh, this demon or this spirit. If a man chooses evil inside of his heart, which is said scripturally, I can agree with that. Like that's just what they choose.
Right.
Some people are just evil all by themselves without having a spirit attached to them. That's why he flooded everything, because he was like, all what was on men's minds and hearts was nothing but evil all the time. Ain't say nothing about no demons, nothing. So
Right.
I
Well,
I do.
we all have the potential to be good or bad, evil or not. We all have
Yes.
that potential. We all got the left side and the right side, right? We all,
Hmm.
we all have discernment, and we make choices every day, all day long, whether we want to do right or whether we want to do wrong, whether we want to be stupid or whether we want to just ignore things, or not stupid, but willfully ignorant.
Exactly. And when you choose those aspects of those principalities, then for some, I won't say all, then you can open the realm and pocket for things attaching to you. But for the
Yeah,
most part, yes, people make these choices. I
yeah.
get it.
And you play stupid games and you're gonna get a stupid prize, in my opinion. That's just how I look at it. But that's just for
Sappho.
me. That's just for
Sappho.
me, not for everybody, for me.
What is it? Uh, what is it? Sappho? Fudge around and find out.
Yeah, FAFO. That's right.
Hmm.
Hey, Vaughn.
Hey, Miss Alice. Hey, Real. Hey, I said what I said, sis.
Hey, little sis.
What's on? What's
Okay.
going on?
Yeah, y'all might not like me today. Well,
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna
Girl,
say the
you know I
enemy.
don't care about other people's opinion because you know I'm gonna believe what I want to anyway.
I know, and I came up here specifically for you. Okay, so I agree with you. I agree, but I have to disagree when you said now. Okay, I'm a be in detail. Okay, so when you said everything, okay, first of all, when you told real name about, nothing spiritual, that tickled me because I agree. God has given us, five senses and to use them. You know, we not just down here all willy-nilly, you know, and ignorance is bliss, but you know, knowledge is also power, right? But when it comes to certain things, and I'm gonna be honest, for me, it is safer, you know, for me not to look at everything as evil and good, you know, because I'm extreme. I told you I'm an overthinker. But when it comes to this, you know, the government, I always think of, you know, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, you know, but against principalities and you know wickedness in high places.
And
So
DD.
for yeah, so for me, I look at, you know, all this government stuff as wickedness in a higher place. You know, now it doesn't necessarily mean, you know, that we got to be all scared and oh, everything is evil. But like you said, you know, use our, you know, five senses, you know, our instincts, you know, what T Racy was saying, you know, our godly wisdom, you know, to recognize that it's some evil going on, you know, and that's why, you know, all this stuff is going on out here in the world because there is, you know, a spiritual war going on at all times, right? So although, you know, we may not even be seeing it in the spiritual, we still have our five senses to say, something not right with that. I'm gonna stay up off these planes. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes,
get
ma'am.
what I
I
see what you're saying.
absolutely, I wholeheartedly agree with that. But
Intuition.
I'm just saying a lot of times, you know, well, just go ahead and finish up.
I get what both y'all
No,
saying. Like
no,
if you go through it on the
yeah.
spiritual side, yeah, if your spiritual eyes are open, see this is the I'm gonna say this, I'm real quick, only for 5 seconds. If everybody is right, but if you perceive things in a spiritual way, and if you know that there's things around and shadows and this and spirits, then you know that okay, there's a spiritual realm and it spills over into our realm. But if you're like, okay, I've been doing this, I still believe in God, but
Yeah.
my way of life is doing it this way, and I might not see what you see. So it's men making these choices by themselves. So that's what I mean. Why, depending on where your mind is and what level you're at, it's like everybody's right. Like someone like, nope, there's a creator. Nope, his name's God and Yahweh or Jehovah. No, and no, there's demons. Nope, it's angels and princes of it. Like it's just
and
that's how I
and
see
and
it.
and, and both can be true at one time. But let me just tell you how I operate. How I
Okay.
operate. I just don't be worrying God with things that I can take care of. And I'm not saying nobody's worrying God, right? I'm not saying that. I'm talking about for me. For me,
Right.
things that
Free
I can
will.
take, yeah, things that I can take care of. I don't be worrying God about everything. Now, when I really need God to handle something that I can't handle, then that's when I get in contact with Him. Other than that, you know, I'm just guided by what it, you know, I guess by His Spirit with, you know, a peaceful spirit of Him knowing that I don't have to bug Him for every little decision that I make or what have you. I ask Him for wisdom. I ask Him for guidance, and then I leave Him alone. And then when I can run into a brick wall, that's when I call up on Him. And so but that's just how I operate. Now,
But see
other
that
people,
that's healthy though, in my opinion, because
yeah,
in a way you're saying what you're saying is God is in control regardless. That's really what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
I was saying, I'm an overthinker. So for me, I have to stay balanced in, you know, every even though I may describe my behaviors, you know, in the past or, you know, present as evil, I do that because that's what the Bible say, right? But I'm not necessarily looking at everything as evil or saying, oh, you evil, you know, because I don't want, you know, it's not for me to offend and make, you know, run people away from God. But for me, I'm going to call it for what it is. But the balance in that isn't, you know, like what you said, everything ain't got to be, you know, fear and, oh, Lord, you know, but I like that what you're saying, which is that, you know, you're going to give it to God, you know, period. At the end of the day, you know, God is in control. I know He got me. You know, at the same time, I'm not just going to be, I'm going to say you're not going to be religious about it. You know, you're not going to, you know, be fake with it, because, you know, some people can be fake with it, you know. But
Exactly.
what I'm saying is I 1,000% agree with you, you know, that we don't have to look at it as, you know, oh, evil, evil, evil. But at the end of the day, that is what it is, you know. But people still gonna be people.
Right.
And bad things are gonna happen.
And we can recognize evil, and it goes back to our five senses. That's why I say he gave us five senses to operate on a daily basis so that we don't have to worry him about every little thing that goes on in our life. And there's nothing wrong with talking to him, walking, having him walking with him and having him in your heart. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's like, like your mama say, quit worrying me with it, quit telling so much. Quit being
Right.
quit being a tattletale. Figure
Like
out things on your own,
it,
and that's
it's
the way
like
I operate with God. I don't call
right,
him for every little decision because I feel like he's already given me the wisdom that I need because I've always asked for the wisdom, and and whether anybody think it or not, I feel like he's given me wisdom my whole
right,
entire life, and so
Mm. I
yeah,
mean, yeah, because you're already operating inside your higher self. And if you
right.
like
So
yeah,
what she's saying is, I'm gonna put it to you how I see it. When
exactly.
a person say, well, the spirit told me don't get on no planes. The spirit didn't tell you that. The plane's going down. Your common sense should say, I shouldn't be getting on no plane. Now, what the spirit will tell you, okay, is something more in detail.
Mhm. I get it.
You're in the airport. You was about to get on the airplane, and the spirit all hit you. Don't get on that plane. Before any plane crashed, before
right,
all this stuff started happening, the spirit told you, right when you was about to get on the board,
yeah,
board
yeah. Something
to the
changed your
plane.
mind. You have a
Yeah,
second
something
Yeah,
said
vision.
like
no. You
visions,
Yeah,
know,
changes in the
right,
air, changes in the temperature,
yeah.
all that stuff. They'll
and
work
right,
it.
and I call that your intuition. And so I tap into that also. I use my intuition a lot because sometimes I can meet somebody. I don't even have to talk to. They can just tell me hello, and I can actually feel their energy, and feel that they right or they right or they not right.
Hmm.
And it's not judging a book by its cover. Sometimes my intuition tell me, hey, don't do too much partaking with this person. Don't interact with this person too much. It's okay to be cordial, but feed them from a long handle spoon. And
that's
so
the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, like that. Like when you go to an area or a bar or a club when you were younger, and then you get
yeah,
that feeling, like you know what? I feel
yeah,
like something bad's gonna happen. Whatever you want to call it, it's
yeah.
giving you that feeling.
hmm and it's just like, sometimes you say, I should have went with my first mind. You sure should. Sometimes your
Yeah,
first
Mhm.
mind is good, and sometimes your first mind is not. Especially like if you traveling somewhere and your mind tell you don't go the way that you always go. Take a detour this time. Take a different way, and you don't listen to that, and then you wind up in a wreck or something happened to you. And then you'll go, "Oh, I wished I would have listened to myself and went with my first mind because I wouldn't be in this predicament." And that's what I'm talking about when I say think. When I'm making this disclaimer. Not that I'm not spiritual, not that a lot of things are not spiritual. It's just that, and it's just the way that I talk to. I'm a literal person. So I just say, I just don't bother God for every little decision in my life. I just don't.
I get it. Just like Adam and Eve in the beginning, right? They weren't
Yeah.
operating off the spirit of anything. That was a choice that they made. Like there was no spirit guiding them at that point. I think maybe because they were higher spiritually themselves before they fell. But then later on, as you go on down the line, because we fell, that's why, oh, call on the spirit or think of this in a spiritual way. So I get what everybody's saying. Like I get it.
Well, good. I'm glad I didn't offend a lot of people the way I think.
who you offended?
Well, child, you be surprised.
You can't offend us.
Well, yeah, I know I ain't worried about y'all, but I'm just saying, the way that I talk sometimes and the way that I put things sometimes can be offensive to people, and they may feel like I'm talking to them or what have you. But and so that's why I always try to make that disclaimer for me and my house. For me, this is
Yeah.
how it goes. Not for you, but for me.
Yeah.
Okay, Senna, stay safe. Love you.
All right,
Love you,
Center.
Hey,
Senna.
Cinnabon.
Instead of but you know what? That's actually a good thing because the way that you talk, the way that I talk, the way that Alice talks, the way that Vons talks, it all gives us a topic to discuss and for us to be able to have our opinions, for us to be able to pick it out and debate in a healthy way and give our outputs on it. Because if you didn't have your way of thinking and talking, you wouldn't be you. Like, you know, everybody brings a different piece of their portion of who they are and what they think on a subject to the table, which in my opinion, it makes it all good. It's like you get to see different points of views, and then we can all come to an conclusion and or learn or keep something in mind from another individual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alice, was your Mother's Day good? I didn't ask you. I'm sorry.
Oh yes.
I
had
heard
a
you say that
wonderful
you
day.
retired.
Yeah. I relaxed a lot. I didn't really do. I was catered to. I'll put it like that.
Oh, okay. Princess for the day.
Ooh, I like that.
I like that too.
On
Well,
style treatment going on over there.
right. I'm sure the little Prince Junior here was catered to yesterday. I'm talking about you, Vaughn. You know who I'm talking about.
Huh? Look,
I said the little Princess Junior. No, she's spoiled.
I did. I relaxed. I talked to my mother. I enjoyed, her day through her because she had a really nice day, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't feel like I'm old enough, to. I don't feel like I done had enough mothering to really.
There you go. I used to feel that way too. I felt that same way until my kids got grown, and now that my mom, is no longer here, I just I wasn't going to even celebrate Mother's Day, and my daughter came over, my granddaughter came over, and they brought me all kind of gifts, and I told them, don't buy me nothing.
I'm so glad you
in the world. But after they did, I'm telling y'all, I said, I know I told y'all don't bring me nothing, but it do feel good to get all these gifts y'all brought over here.
I'm so pleased to hear that I said what I said. I really am.
And my daughter was like, that's why I come out and play with you, Mama. You play too much. I said I wasn't playing. I wasn't playing. I was serious. I don't want y'all spending y'all money on me because I got everything that I want. But at the end of the day,
I know exactly.
They brought me a whole podcast set up over here. So I was like, oh wow, y'all bought all that. I was like, oh, I'm glad y'all didn't pay.
Oh, they set you up for the channel?
Oh yeah. I told them I wasn't going on camera though, but they did it anyway. So I was like, okay.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
I said, well, you better give me a wig or something to come on, because I'm not combing my hair every day. That ain't finna work for me.
I was just thinking about that. I was just thinking about that the other day. I'm like, yo, I said what I said. Got to come on camera one time because I want to make sure she is who she is and she's a human being and not some futuristic.
Why would you think
I'm
a real trying to be nosy? Real,
no,
you not minding your business.
I am minding my business. I'm not.
And why
y'all
would
know
you
me.
think that I'm an AI alien? What gave you that indication that I am an AI alien?
Because I know stuff like that exists. I've seen programs that work like that. I've seen it, so I know that stuff exists. Like I know it does.
You must ain't been on my channel before.
But
I've been there once or twice.
She got too much. She too well. I don't know if she gonna take offense, so I'm not gonna say that.
Authenticity. Go ahead. No, I'm not.
No, I was gonna say you too southern. I was gonna say country, but
they
no.
Yeah.
Go ahead. She's trying to tell you I'm too country to be AI don't
be a fake
like
person.
No, they could have said with this AI interface right here, let's fill her with the spirit of a southern black woman. We don't know.
I don't even recognize us. AI is prejudice.
Real. I said what I said. It's real.
I know.
She a real person. Well, I hope she is. I gave her my phone number. Wait a minute now. Look.
Alice can attest to that. I've talked to Alice on the phone, and it's the same thing. I told you I'm just like the Lord. I'm the same today, yesterday, and forever. I don't ever change.
Well, Miss Alice, I'm glad she said that, because look, I'm like, I gave her my phone number now. Y'all know I'm a little foolish with people.
But I don't call Miss Alice like that either, unless it's about business. No. You guys are married. Y'all have a family. You got children. You got things to do, and so I do. I try to respect people's time. I really do. And Alice will tell you, you get me on the phone, baby, you ain't gonna get to cook nothing. You ain't gonna get to go nowhere. Because when I get on the phone, I get on the phone. So you asking for trouble, Vaughn. Ain't she, Alice?
Miss Alice,
she lying. She is not lying.
Miss Alice, it sounds like she me, don't it? Because they get me on the phone. They be like, All right, Vaughn. I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna get off the phone now. Then I'd be like, well, Miss Alice, da-da-da, or Blue, da-da-da, well, Mama, da-da-da.
Right. Miss Alice called me like once every 2 or 3 months, baby, because she already know she better sit down. She better be done had her lunch, her pills, anything she need to do. She better go ahead and take it, because me and her finna be on the phone for a minute. I'm just saying. But now, but seriously though, but getting back to the topic though, I just won't fly anywhere because I don't trust them right now. And now if we get somebody in office next term, and I'm not trying to make this political because this is really real for me. If we get somebody in office next term that has some sense and put some people in there that got some sense, because right now we got a bunch of buffoonery going on right now. We got a lot of people that's not even qualified for these jobs that they have. And then they fired a lot of people that we need that had the sense. Even the people that run the nuclear plant, they had to call some of them people back. So, we're really in a constitutional crisis and people don't really realize it. They just go about their everyday life. But people like me that watch this stuff and, try to keep up with it from what have you, if we get somebody back in office and they put the right people in place, then I don't mind flying somewhere. I would love to go to Jamaica or the Bahamas or somewhere, but I'm not going nowhere right now. I'm not going nowhere. And I'm not spending that much money in this economy either to prop him up. I'm only spending what I have to spend. So you can just call me probably like a little Black Panther Junior.
I mean, if you go by the scriptures, I mean, if people go by the scriptures, this shouldn't be a surprise to them anyway. Because people will be like, "Oh, this is what happened. That's what happened." And then when things start to roll out, like, "Oh no, this is happening." But didn't it say wars, rumors of wars, systems gonna start crashing down,
but
and it's gonna be the end of this system?
Go to Ecclesiastics. There's nothing new
under the sun. Yeah, even the technology.
But okay.
What you say? What you say in Ecclesiastes?
Vaughn ain't right.
Look, I learned the names of the Bible, y'all. So it's important that I always let folks. It's Ecclesiastes. Okay? But I ain't got nothing else to say.
Okay. Well, I'm from the country, so it's gonna be Ecclesiastics.
Look, I was saying Ecclesiastics, okay? I was saying them all wrong. All of them wrong, okay?
Well, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Anybody know the Bible, they know which book I'm talking about.
I was calling Job, Job.
Now, see, I was going to say that. I was going to say, at least I know it's Job and not Job.
I know, but our language has done that, or just like a lot of the names aren't even the names. Just like, Abraham and Sarah, it was really Sarai and Ibram. Like those were the names. So it's like, I get what y'all saying.
Yeah, and some of those names in the Bible, like in the Old Testament, I can't read them anyway. I can't pronounce a lot of them words.
Girl, I be skipping over them so fast. Like if I'm supposed to know who this is, somebody will tell me.
I know, but like this person begot this person, but this person begot this person. You're like, how do you say this person's name right here?
Well, y'all call Miss Alice. She's very prim and proper, and she can tell you how to pronounce it.
Oh, you got the wrong one, honey.
You don't know either, Miss Alice? Well, Blue will know.
I appreciate you having that confidence, but no, bring it on down. That's not Alice.
Shay said she be skipping too. I know that's right, Shay.
Uh-huh.
And I asked my son, I said, "Are you reading the Bible?" He's like, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "Well, how do you do you understand it?" Because I said, "Are you going to church?" "No, I'm just reading the Bible." I said, "Well, how would you know what you're reading if you don't go to church and you ain't going, you're not really studying it?" "Well, I've been in church all my life." I said, "But was you paying attention?" Yeah, I was paying attention. I'm like, "Okay, then." I said, "So which testament are you reading, the Old Testament or the New Testament?" "I read all the testaments." I said, "Okay, that let me know you ain't really reading your Bible."
He sound like your friend.
Who is my friend?
Old Testament, New Testament, both.
Yeah, he said okay. Oh, agent. He said he read all the testaments. I ain't know, but I thought it was just 2, but he said he read all of them. So that let me know he quit playing in my face, little boy.
It's crazy because it's like when you look at it, when they found those scrolls, there was no Old Testament, New Testament. It was just all like together, from the Torah to the sea scrolls and the lambskins.
Yeah, but he don't know that real. He have no clue. He have no clue. So If somebody
If you
tell you
ever
they
want to
read,
know if they lying, just ask them questions.
ask
Ask
them some
Mhm.
questions. That's all you gotta
Mhm.
Tell you what happened to me years ago, many years ago, when I had stopped really going to church for a little while. So one of my coworkers, I was like visiting different churches periodically, but I wasn't really a member of any church. And so one of my coworkers asked me what church I went to. And so I told her the last church that I visited. And she said, "Oh yeah," she said, "What's the pastor's name?" I could not think of the pastor's name. I was so embarrassed. I went to church. I went
Ooh.
back to that church the next Sunday.
And it's okay because you go in there to learn something and to get your spirit fulfillment, not to know that person.
Let her finish telling this story because that was a test. Go ahead,
Oh,
Alice.
okay. Oh, excuse me.
So
Okay.
I was done. I went back to church the next Sunday. I learned the pastor's name. So I was ready for her the next time. She asked me what's the pastor's name.
Did it make you remember every pastor's name after every church that you went to? Did you make sure you you put it in your mind what their names were?
Well, actually, when I decided to the next church that I visited after that, I decided to join the church. So I got real involved in the church, and I was there for many years. So yeah, I knew the pastor's name there.
I never could remember the name of the churches I used to visit.
See,
Oh
if you
yeah,
ever
I
want
had
to
the
know,
name.
if you want to know if I'm lying, okay, not even lying. I ain't gonna say that. How you know if I'm paying attention or not is whether I remember. And see, my mother catches me up a lot. She'd be like, "Well, I told you that," and I'd be like, "You did." So I realized that I be thinking I'm paying attention, but when a conversation comes up or an event comes up, and somebody will say, "Well, Kevon, or didn't I?" And I'd be thinking, "Oh, I wasn't paying attention at all. I wasn't. I wasn't." So
And
I learned
yeah,
to
it's
pay
okay.
more attention, because I be gathering information, but I don't gather the right information. And I always tell on myself, always,
Well,
you gonna catch me.
I'm gonna give you a break on that. You got kids, and as a mother, no, seriously, as a mother, you got to juggle so much. So while you're doing one thing,
Mhm.
your mind is on something else that you got to do. You're always looking for the next thing that you have to tackle. And so I feel like a lot of times when we can't remember things, it's not so much that you're not paying attention, it's just that you have so many things on your mind. So you're not able to retain the information that you're getting at the time because you're not really that focused on. I mean, you're focused on what you're doing, but you're also focused on another on the next task to complete.
Yeah,
ADD.
I agree, especially if you have a husband and small kids. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
it's okay. It happens,
Yeah.
and like, and
So
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 a lot of people
real.
have ADD.
So real. What is your excuse? Because you
Like, no,
said
you don't think? See, this the thing. I don't talk about the same things. I don't talk about a lot of my stuff, but the same things that you just said for Vons, I deal with the same exact things.
well, I was just talking
Real,
about
you
all of
don't have a
Mm.
husband and
Real.
small
you ain't
kids.
got a husband and small kids. I was just talking about you said you had 4 projects, you had all these projects you didn't finish
Yeah,
up.
and I
So I'm
have
trying to
kids.
figure out
I
what your
have
excuse is.
I have kids. I have to make sure their homework's done. I got to make sure that they're washed up, make sure that this is going on. So it's like alternate, and if I got to handle, I just don't talk about that stuff. Like if I'm on
But
here,
Real, you don't have a
you
husband, real.
no, I
real.
don't.
You
Do you
But,
have
yo
a
So
right?
you
wife?
yo
can't
Do you have
relate.
a wife?
he ain't gonna tell us that,
Yeah, go
remember?
and
I'm
say
not
what I
He
saying
said. There
I
she go.
can't I
Go back
can't
on
Oh,
answer
mute.
those
I'm
questions.
sorry. I didn't mean to intrude. That was
It's
just a
y'all
normal
ain't fixing to
answer.
dox
we
me in the future. No, I'm just kidding.
we
I'm going.
No, I'm
I'll
messing
be
with
on
y'all.
mute
Child,
listening.
I don't care.
I ain't giving y'all of you. No, it's just like if I'm up here, mama, I'm up here. I mean, I get it because I was thinking that the other day. Like some people might be like, "Oh, you're this," and he's very secretive and don't want to give information. It's like No, my thing is to talk with y'all about subjects, us to uplift one another, motivate, laugh, and be up here. And eventually, if I feel like speaking about that stuff, I will. That's just something
Well,
where I'm, you
let me
know.
just interject this, sir, and let me just inform you of a few things. They're gonna talk about you no matter what,
Yeah, exactly.
whether you doing good, bad, or in between, wife or not, kids or not, whatever it is. Folks gonna always have something to say about you. So I'm gonna just put that out there in the atmosphere.
Yeah, they'll get mad that your video got like 5, 6, 7,000 views. People will have a channel having way more subscribers and be monetized, and people will still get mad and talk about you. And it's
And what are they
absurd.
gonna and what are they gonna do about it?
Nothing is just crazy. It's
So
crazy to
don't
me.
worry about it. Don't worry
Oh
about it.
yeah, you're
Yeah,
right, but it's
yeah,
just
roll it off your
absurd.
back. Yeah, let them. That's them wasting time being mad when they could be productive doing something else. And that's one thing I'll walk
Mhm.
out. You know, I've learned that in life. You know, I never worry about what nobody else think. I worry about what I think, and if I'm doing the right thing,
Mhm.
and if
Mhm.
I'm taking care of
Mhm.
my business. Because if I worry about that, baby, let me tell you, that's a whole lot right there. Just to be worried about me and trying to do the things that I do, and walk the walk that I walk, and talk the talk that I talk. Now, I said what I said.
Exactly. Exactly. I get it. And we just continue to keep flying. So everybody fly with their pages and fly with their goodness, and we just
Don't
keep going
nobody get on
forward.
no plane. Don't get on no plane though. You
We
can
don't.
fly all you want, but don't get on no plane.
Well, I ain't gonna say that. You do what you want to do, but
What?
just
I
be prepared for the consequence. That's all I gotta say about it. Just do what you want to do, but be prepared for the consequence.
I agree if I said what I said. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. I don't really like to give unsolicited advice. Now, if you ask me what I think, I'm going to tell you what I think. But do you?
Well, I'm not like them. Okay, I'm still stubborn and think I can make people do what I want them to do. Don't you get on no plane.
And I used to be there, but I've grown for that. And she'll learn down the line. She'll learn down the line not to be giving out unsolicited advice. I'm just saying. Let her live. Let her keep living a few more days, and she'll get to find out what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
I'm bossy. Okay, you gonna
Right,
listen to me.
Janice.
And being the boss ain't all. You got to pay a big cost to be the boss. And let me just tell
Uh,
you, I was the boss too, but I don't want to be the boss no more. I'm gonna let you boss it. I'm gonna let y'all do it.
Okay, I'm gonna take over.
Go ahead.
No, but she's right. Being the boss comes with a whole lot of this, that expectations, and people will, oh, well, you this, but oh, and
And blame,
picking and
blame. Yeah.
blaming you for this, and oh, well,
Now
I thought you were supposed to be this way, and look, you
And
did this, you did that.
but
I'm gonna
I'm
point
gonna
out
be
no,
honest.
everything.
you told
I
me to
get
do
upset.
this, and you
Yeah, I
Mhm.
get
told me to
upset
do
with
that.
that.
Yeah.
Why you gonna come blame? See, I will be honest here. See, I'm careful because people do. They will blame you. It's gonna be all your fault. So I am, I'm wise. All right.
To you, boo
But
boo.
I said what I said about these planes.
Y'all
You
heard
ain't
it.
gonna be able to blame me for nothing because I told you not to get on it.
And if y'all looking for the beneficiary of y'all insurance policy, hit me up.
but guess what,
Then
Vaughn?
it's crazy.
Vaughn, if they are unalived in a plane, they're not gonna blame you.
Oh
They're
yeah, they
they're
ain't gonna be able to
gone.
blame you. They gonna be like,
And you just might not want to go attend the services because the family gonna be side eyeing you though. I'm just saying.
Girl, they gonna be upset. They gonna be upset.
Especially if they got a text message on their phone and you went ahead and advised them to go on and do what they need to do.
yeah, I mean, pretty much. And who knows? It could even be the electromagnetic field and the sun that's causing disruptions in the electronical stuff of the fields of things that we have inside the technology.
Come on, real. We talking about us. That don't matter.
That is the subject at hand.
I understand that, but I'm talking about our folks. I'm just
Oh,
saying, you know how we are. That don't
mhm.
matter. That do not matter. That's still not gonna take the blame off of her. If she made that proclamation, you can rest assured they will hold her feet to the fire. That's just how it's gonna go. I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I get what you're saying now. Because when you're held to a higher esteem or in higher estate, and you say something and people look up to you, but you said this and you said,
Mhm.
and it's just that casting that I don't know how to explain it, but I know what you're talking about. It's just like they all had the choice to make that decision themselves, but something could happen. A caterpillar could fall out of a tree, go inside your eyeball, turn to a butterfly, and they'll still blame you for it. You said I could walk down this street, and you'll still get blamed for every little shortcoming.
Marjan to my please come to her service. Girl, if it's too far, I ain't gonna be able to come, Marjan, because I'm
Girl, what is wrong? Marjan, y'all, Marjan crazy. That baby said she gonna give Miss Alice and her niece all the money. Okay, she said she
don't
still
give them all the money. Marjan, put me in that. In that. You said you like me too. Put me in that policy, girl. Don't
said what I said. I said, well,
Ma-
that's okay. She said she can only put 2 people down. I said, well, that's okay. Put me in, and
hey,
Miss Alice and I do just fine. She said, Miss Alice and my niece. I'm like, well, look at her.
well, you gonna have to. I don't know,
Marjan,
Marjan.
have them stream it.
Marjan, you're gonna have to make an executive decision and take one of them off and put me in there. I don't know if it's gonna be Alice, your niece, or who, or Robert. I don't know which one. But somebody got to go.
Hey, Shanice.
I'll be on the
Y'all
fence
are
about stuff
crazy.
like that, like life insurance. Because me and a friend, he used to get me into that to try to help him sell life insurance. And I noticed something throughout the 4 or 5 years. It was like, for some reason, the people who got on the life insurance and always kept talking about it, it's like, they were more prone to stuff. Now, I don't know if it has something to do with putting it in the air or not, but that's just something I noticed in my region. It
You
was
know
just
what?
something.
Real, when I was pregnant with my last child, when an insurance man came to put a, and I was so against it. I ran that man out the house. I know, shame on me. But listen, I realized that it's okay, like Miss Alice said, okay, my favorite scripture, okay, Second Timothy. Okay, God is not giving us spirit of fear, okay, but of sound mind and power. So if you ask me, it's wiser, because anything could happen. And the man, he was sitting there, y'all, and he was, but you're about to have another child. And I said, no, that's bad luck. That's bad luck. How stupid, right? What ended up changing my mind was that by this time I had 4 children. My husband, everybody knows, my husband, he's a bigger man, heavy set. And I was watching a video on YouTube, and it just popped up. This lady, she's a stay-at-home mom. Her husband was 35, y'all, and he had a heart issue, and he passed away around Christmas time. And they had kids together, they've been together since they were kids, and it just broke my heart. And it was like, you know what, I'm not at the time I was working, because it was a school friend of ours who gave us the policy. I was working at the time, and what really really scared me was my husband isn't allowed on the policy because of his weight, but he has insurance through his
Yeah.
job. I didn't even know that that was possible, that if with, like, now I'm a smoker, so that messes with the policy. I didn't know these things at the time, but
Yeah.
it
So
it was
cautious.
scary. Yeah, it was scary. It was like, wait a minute, he can't get on the policy, because his weight. But like
Yeah.
I said, thank God we have insurance through his job, so if something was to happen, and he talks about it all the time. If something happens to me, you gonna have so much money, you ain't gonna even think about me, even though he lying. Okay, that's what he want to tell himself.
Well, tell him to
But
look at that policy good cup. Make sure it ain't just from an accident. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
from an accident, and
right.
make sure that it's full coverage, because if he, oh, you died from this specific reason, or that you were at fault, or if you have this or cardiac arrest because of a self-inflicted through food or something,
Mm-hmm.
like, you make sure you go through all of that fine print to make sure that it's a rightful unaliving versus a wrongful. Because some stuff you think you'll
Mm-hmm.
get paid for, and it's like, no,
And you
well,
won't.
you
Yeah,
won't.
I
Like, this
didn't.
person died of a heart attack, but their arteries were closed, so we can't pay you
Mm-hmm.
out. I've seen it.
I
A
didn't
lot,
Crazy.
a
know
lot
that
of
any of those
insurance,
things. Go ahead, Miss
a,
Alice.
a lot of insurance policies on a job. It's a group policy and you really don't know the details of that policy. So the best time, I mean, it's good that you have a policy at work, but if something happened to your job, if you're terminated from your job or something, you lose that job, that insurance doesn't go with you.
Yeah.
Um, so it's always good to have a separate policy. And the thing about it is that when you are young and healthy, that's the best time to get life insurance.
Yep. Yep. It
Yeah.
makes
And
us
I got
full.
somebody. I got somebody that can hook you up, no matter what.
It
Maybe a little
makes us
expensive,
full.
but it's still whole life, and it's no matter what.
And it
So
has to be
it won't.
full whole
Yeah,
life.
it
Yeah.
won't. It
Because
won't be a term. That's why I said it's whole.
terms are the worst. And see, at that point, if you're a little iffy about that, if you do a term, that same money that you're paying, you might as well just put that away inside the bank for yourself for them 25 years. If you're paying $300 or $500 a month for a premium, at that end of that 20-year, 10, 15, or 20-year term, it's like there's no transference, nothing. All that money is gone. It's gone. It's
Yep.
Well,
gone.
you shouldn't be paying $300-500 a month for term insurance.
Right.
So
Right.
if you're paying that much for term, something is wrong. You're getting taken.
Hmm.
And the difference is with if something happens to you with your whole life policy, you have whole life has a cash value to it. But if
Yes.
you use that cash value, it takes
Mhm.
away from the policy if you don't pay it back. And if you pay it back, you have to pay it back with interest. So
Yep.
you have to
Mm-hmm.
figure out which one is best for you, term or whole life. And
Yeah.
term insurance is better. If it's better that you pay a low cost for term insurance and take what you can and put it into a good mutual fund or something so that that money can grow. And if you put money in a regular bank account, it will not grow. Um, it will not grow as fast as you think it's going to grow. So
Now you need an
I have some
annuity.
experience in that. That's
Yeah.
why I can talk about it. But
You
um,
need a Roth or an annuity or something where your money will grow fast
right,
and long term.
Look at
right.
y'all. Excuse me.
Look, look, real.
Wow.
I'm up here like y'all giving me more information,
I
You
know.
need
It's
some
but
just
information. Why y'all think I'm at the
surprising.
house every day, child?
Mhm.
What's that song?
but yeah.
I'm a living testimony. But my daughter gonna tell me, because I got insurance on just about everybody in my family. And when I say that, I'm talking about my kids and my father and my sisters. And I only have it on them because they won't do it. Okay. And so
Mm.
my daughter tells me, well, you just got insurance on everybody so you can get paid. I said, let me tell you something. I can pay now or I can pay later. Okay. I said, because at the end of the day, if something happened to any one of y'all, everybody gonna be looking at me anyway. So don't look at it as if I'm just trying to come up on somebody because I say I could clock out any day now and y'all won't have nothing when y'all clock out. So don't be turning your nose up at me because
Yeah.
I don't react. I'm not a reactive type person. I'm a proactive type person. And I'm not banking on anybody to roll out of here, but you never know what's going to happen. That's why they call it insurance. Okay.
Hmm. And that can cause your family
Yeah,
to
I don't see
divide.
anything wrong with that. But I look, I ain't gonna tell y'all, but I know that that's how a lot of black people look at it. You just trying to get paid, but like you said, I said what I said when the situation happens, everybody be looking crazy and crying and no shade to GoFundMe's or nothing like that. But then that's when everybody, oh, what we gonna do, what we gonna do, and it's like, well, somebody did something or somebody wanted to do something about it, but no, everybody was, oh, you just trying to have some money and you all about money, and it's like at the end of the day, it's still gonna be about money. We got to have money put
Right,
in the ground, have a
right.
service, cremation.
Yeah,
We got to
yeah,
have some kind
and
of.
And
life.
I'm not finna sell no spaghetti dinner to throw you in the dirt. Sorry, I'm just not finna
Yeah,
do
because life still goes on, and if you paying all that money out of your pocket, that can put a damper and a hamper across your funds because now you got to come up
it. Right,
with this, that, and then now it's like, dang, I didn't. This is an unforeseen circumstance. Now I'm, 5, 10, 15 grand got to come out of our pockets. Everybody got
right.
to put up. Then it's like afterwards, you you're broke because you didn't put 15, 20 grand towards something, and it's like, what do you do? It can be
Yeah.
very devastating. It can
Yeah, so
change your life.
y'all gonna use my money anyway, so I can. So if it's gonna be my money, I can make the decision on how I want to spend my money. When my brother passed away, did not one person come to me and gave me not one silver, nickel, copper, penny, green dollar bill, or nothing. But they all grieved properly. They didn't have to worry about a thing, and that's what I'm talking about. So
Yeah, but then you got some family members where everybody will have their hands out and it'll start people will start fighting and oh the money got left to this person and then people will if you buy insurance through one of your family members who work at one of them companies, they'll go behind your back and switch the beneficiary name to themselves. It can be crazy. Been through it, seen it.
but
Y'all, I didn't know people could do that, but they
Yes,
can.
yes, yes,
yes,
they
yes,
can.
you can.
Yes, they can.
Like when before my husband and I got married, his beneficiary was his youngest sister and our daughter. I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't see anything wrong with it. And my granny and my aunt was like, mm-mm.
Hold
I
on,
said,
hold on. Listen up, Marjan. Go ahead.
I said, because he told me, if something was
I
to
say about
happen to him,
money.
he knows that, his family, they'll do the right thing. And I'm be honest, y'all, we ain't get along. I talked about it before on my channel. We ain't get along. And my auntie said, so you think, first of all, they don't like you while he living. Okay, y'all, it's problems while he living. You thinking that they gonna do what's right. And I said, well,
Mm,
Mm,
yeah. And my
mm.
and my granny said, but my grandbaby a fool. Oh, she foolish. I'm like, what? And I thought about it. People get evil when people die. You see people fighting and arguing and
Yes.
it was like, wait a minute. Y'all got a point here. I never asked him to change the policy. Of course, after we got married, he changed everything. But I really kind of thought about that. Like, I'm looking at it as well, my daughter's gonna be okay. But if
yeah.
she's the what do they call it? Power of attorney, because we weren't married. If
Hmm.
she or if his father, which me and his father, we were okay, but even still,
Yeah.
we're not married. They're gonna do whatever they want to do.
Exactly.
They,
And
they
you the
might
one
be
had the kids.
petty,
Yeah, you got
right?
the kids buying. And so I just feel this way. And it's just me and my opinion, my house. Okay. Once again, for me. Me. If you married to somebody, why would you put somebody else as the beneficiary and you be married to this
Exactly. Because the
person?
kids still
And
gotta
they're
have to pay the
and they're
bills,
the
everything.
ones
Hmm.
and they're the ones who did everything with you. They're the ones who help you get what you got with that house, that car, your food, your clothes, your whole life. Especially if you've been married to somebody for 25, 30, 40, 50 years, even 10 years. People, that person have helped you do everything in life that you need to do. And to me, it's a slap in the face to not have your spouse on the insurance policy, especially if they're a good spouse. Now, if it's a Ike Turner, I can understand that. Okay.
Mhm.
But if you married to someone and you decide to stay married to them or what have you, and they're your spouse and they've been a good spouse to you and they've been good to you while you was married, I think it's only right that you make each other the beneficiary. Now, me,
Yeah.
when I was married, we had a big old policy. And when I decided to get a divorce, I put a lock on my door because I didn't know if that ninja was gonna come in there and try to take me out and get the insurance money or what. This real talk for real. I put a lock on my door because we were still standing in the same house until I got ready to leave or what
No,
have
you're
you.
right. People are like that.
Yeah, yeah. And so I was like, you ain't finna take me out before I get ready to get out of here. And so after that, I stopped the policy on him and I made him stop the policy on me. And so that because that's a whole total different situation. But I just feel like if you married to somebody and that's your spouse, then you should let them, or if they got children by you, even in your case, Vaughn, he had children by you. You're gonna be have the burden of raising those kids, so you're gonna need some help. So yes, you should be on the beneficiary because you never
Yeah.
know what's around the corner. You never know what's
Yep.
gonna happen.
Well, she's
Yep.
married now.
Yeah,
She's
But
married
still.
now.
I's
Yeah.
I'm
married
So,
now.
married now.
I's
Look,
married
look.
now.
But
but I
I
want to say,
really didn't have a problem with it. I
Yeah,
really didn't. But in the back of my mind, it was like, because of course, they put all these ideas in my head. They could be petty and not, all of a sudden that ain't his
but those are
child
not
and woo woo
ideals. Those
woo.
are for real.
Right. It
That's
was
for
like,
real.
I started thinking like, well, wait a minute, this that's not gonna be right.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna say this, so I know Alice finna get ready to roll out of here. But at the
when
end
I
of
want
the
to
day,
say something before,
okay,
um,
go ahead.
I wanted to just advise single mothers. If you have small children, you have insurance, a policy, do not make any child under 18 your beneficiary. Make sure it's somebody that you can trust to take care of your kids, because
Right.
your kids can't legally be a beneficiary. They can't legally take over your policy if they're under 18. So
Yes.
that's all I had to say
And
on
it's
that.
that person who's the guardianship of them. They'll take over it and they'll be skimming off that. So, say for instance, that $500 a month can be a lot. And once that person turns a certain age, like steps 17 in certain states, they can have a parent or guardian distribute certain amounts per month, like 250, 500. But that person who's issuing it out, if they're the guardian, they'll skim off the top. So that's why you also gotta, like she said, make sure it's like a trustworthy person too, because people be
I
doing
wouldn't
some
scam
crazy
off the
stuff.
top. I wouldn't scam
Mm-hmm.
off the top, but he's right. A lot of people will. But let me just tell you what
Mm-hmm.
happened in our situation. And I wholeheartedly advise everybody to get a will or a trust. If you have small kids, get a trust. If you have older kids, get a will. Because my grandmother passed away without a will, so and my mom was gone, so her other kids divvied up the money between themselves, and they told us since our mama was gone that we wasn't gonna get anything because she wasn't there to, my mama wasn't allowed to get anything and we didn't deserve anything. So at the end
Oh
of the
wow.
day, yeah, they left us out. So y'all already know what I did. Y'all know I cussed all of them out. I'm sorry, but I did. And I just let them know I didn't need their little money or whatever, and I could take them to court because legally in my state you can take them to court if your parent is not living and there's no will. Then it goes to the kids, but they wanted to be shisty and funny about it, and so I just let them do what they did. And my one uncle, I told him, I said, well, I'm surprised about you.
Okay.
I'm so surprised about you. You sit up and took chicken and beans out of our mouth, living with us when my mama was living, and now you want to act like this, towards us. But he was the baby, and he was just listening to his sisters and brothers. But I told him I'm gonna make it with or without y'all little 15 cents because that ain't gonna make or break me. But at the end of the day, Vaughn, people will act funny, and it could be your own family members, not just his family members, your own aunties, uncles, cousins, anybody. People start acting stupid when somebody died, when the matriarch died of
Yes,
the family.
yes, yes, yes,
It's
yes.
like it give everybody permission to act however they want to act. And I'm not saying this is in all families. This is just what happened in my family. I was totally like you. I was surprised. I was shocked because I really thought them people really liked me like that, but they showed me better than they could tell me. So set
Mm.
up a will, set up a trust, and whoever you want to get your coins or whatever, just set it all up because so many of us clock out and don't have nothing set up, and then the big fight happens after that. So that's all I want to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have anything else to add? Hold on,
Mm-mm.
let me see what I have started.
Good information, y'all.
Are y'all shocked that I told that story?
Mm-mm.
From
I just
you,
ain't got
no.
nothing to
No,
say, child. I'm over here just
I know.
listening.
I'm just listening
mm,
to.
I know how some people can be.
Right. I told y'all I've been through a lot. I just don't look like that, but I've been through a lot.
Well, we ain't
Yeah.
gonna ever get to know. You ain't gonna turn on the camera.
I was just gonna say
What's
that.
that have to do with the price of
No,
tea in China?
I look
Miss
just like
Alice, we gonna get on YouTube now. We want to see your beautiful smile. Look, let
that
me hush for
that
y'all.
that
Try to make me turn on the camera.
that picture that y'all see on that TV. That's who I am. Just a shade darker. That's me right there.
And see, I'm still shocked because I just knew you was red bone, girl. I just knew it. Miss Alice.
Right? One of them southern light skinned bell red bones. I know what you're talking
Yeah, I just knew it. Real. When she said, Vaughn, I think I'm about the same color as you. I said, well, I doubt it, but I guess she telling the truth.
about. Cause she reminds me of my auntie. She from North Carolina, and she got that same twang and that same voice. Like, no, you ain't getting nothing on me. So it just, I
I'm
thought
the
she was light
same.
skinned.
Them Hershey bars y'all eat, the milk chocolate, not the dark chocolate, the milk chocolate. I'm the same color as the milk chocolate Hershey bar.
See,
Just
y'all already
shocks
know what
me
I look
every
like.
time. Just makes my jaw drop.
Or you could just be a floating computer interface. We don't know.
Real, huh?
I'm
That's
just
real.
messing. I'm
Miss
messing.
Alice, I'm
Wait,
finna
look at
go.
here.
He
Wait, look at here,
clowning
Real.
today. He
Let
clowning.
me get him. Let
I'm
me tell you
sorry.
something.
No,
If I
I'll
was
say what I said. I'm
AI,
sorry.
listen.
Nope. We got to hear.
If I was AI, you can rest assured I would have way more than 530 people because AI is smart, inventive, ingenious, all of that. So I would have all kind of futuristic pictures on my timeline, and everything will be AI. Even the voice will be AI generated. Trust me when I tell you that. So I'm not AI none whatsoever.
You could be playing the waiting game with us. It's like that. I just had to. I'm messing with you. I had to. You know, I gotta get some jokes in, y'all.
Talking about some playing the waiting game. She real.
Alice, I'm
I
out.
believe it.
Alice, Real done ran me off the stage. I'm fixing to go.
Wait, real they ran you off first, me now him. Ooh.
Yeah. Now all we need is Alice, and then I'm gonna strike out. I ain't come back on nobody panel. Y'all gonna be treating me this way.
Oh, man.
Okay,
It's
y'all.
all
Cut it
love.
Look,
out. Cut it
y'all
out.
stop that. Look, like I wasn't included. Y'all stop it.
It wasn't you. It wasn't you. It was you. Yeah, your conversation. Yeah, y'all ran me off the stage, baby. Let me just tell you. But that's
We
okay
messing.
though. That's okay because I had to run somebody off the stage, so it's all good. It's even now.
Oh man.
Great
So I'm gonna
line.
read these starred comments, and then I'm gonna ask. You leaving? I said what I said.
Not unless you got another question. You got another question you got to ask us?
No, I just wanted to read the. Yeah, stay here because you might want to respond to these questions or comments.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So Janice said, "I believe in my heavenly Father. I don't want to see him just yet. Just saying. I give him all my faith,
Mm,
but the driver might not believe in him. That's a very good
mm,
point."
mm-hmm.
So then Charlie's angel said, "That's how I feel. He'll let me know what to do and not to do. If I get to that plane and my gut ain't right, a dream or a vision, a whisper, I won't get on that plane."
Right?
Your daughter told you not to get on no plane, but okay, dreams and whispers.
He can work through anything and
Vaughn,
anybody.
look,
Even
Vaughn, I should have muted you.
Miss Alice, I had to tell her.
Vaughn,
Tracy said,
Vaun, she
"That's my
only gave
problem.
me
I
permission.
sometimes, huh? What you say?"
I told Vaughn she only gave me permission to respond, Vaun.
huh? Huh? Excuse us.
Tracy said, "That's my opinion. I sometimes I second guess myself about things." And
Mm,
then the last comment, Wanda is well, Get It Together Wellness. She's going live at 6 o'clock on Wednesday, 6 o'clock Eastern on Wednesday, and she's going to be discussing mental health and I think she said living will. I mean, did she say trust and wills or something like that? But so I want my moderators to drop her link so that those who aren't subscribed to her channel can subscribe, and we can tune in on Wednesday at 6 p.m.
I'll make sure I put my notifications on. Make sure they on all.
Okay. So moderators, y'all can start dropping links now. What you can do is you can just drop the links of the moderators who have links, and you can drop my links, and the others that I want dropped, I'll do it afterwards. I'll post on my community wall the links for everybody else. That'll make it easier. Okay. Anybody else have anything to say on the panel?
Yeah, I do. Since you gave me permission to, since you
Okay.
gave me
sorry,
only
y'all.
me permission, just me, real, nobody else.
That wasn't even me.
she
Had
said
to
me.
mute,
She
sorry.
told me to stay up personally,
Oh, sorry.
not y'all, me. But at the end of the day, don't get mad because favor not fair, real. Okay. But I just want to say, I want to thank everybody for putting my page on your community walls. I know I may not say that to you, and I do try to respond to everybody, but I do appreciate all the love that everybody has given me in this community and in other communities. Everybody that, you know, support my page and everybody that shout my channel out. I just want to say thank you. And Miss Alice, thank you for allowing me to be on your panel. Real has been real. Fun has been fun.
Yes.
And I'm out.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Before you leave,
Uh-huh.
do not, and I'm just saying this to you for right now, do not call me Miss Alice and we're around the same age.
Yes, ma'am.
Check.
Checkmate, checkmate, baby, checkmate. I'm
Y'all are
sorry,
crazy.
but if people like, I understand that you're a day older than me, but it makes me feel like you're my elder, so that's why I say Miss Alice.
Oh my gosh.
All right, we'll
And
talk.
I will catch up with you at the end of the month, so I'll be a day closer to you, okay? And maybe I can cut the miss out once I get closer to you. But
Yeah, okay.
Right now you're a day or two ahead of Alice.
Okay. All right.
I got a question.
What's your question?
When am I gonna be grown enough to call you not Miss Alice? I'm not saying that I want to be, but is there an age cutoff for me, or are we forever locked in?
Vaughn,
You got a long time to catch up.
Vaughn, I'm older than you and your mother, so I suggest you call me Miss Alice.
Look, no problem. I'm just checking, Miss Alice. I'm just checking.
And also, I think you need to put a handle on my name too, cause I'm older than you and your mom. Also,
Oh, okay.
I just thought about that. Yeah,
I told
you need to put
you.
a handle on my name.
I told you I'm calling you Miss Fancy because Miss I said what I said is just too. It's already too many, letters and syllables
okay.
and
Okay.
vowels.
I'll take that. I won't mind.
Well,
Okay.
you are fine calling me whatever you call me. Just don't ever call me
Real.
sir,
I'm
because I
not
know
calling
that.
you Mr. Nothing because you sound like you in my age group.
Hey,
Okay,
call-
I need some more wisdom behind that
Hey.
voice.
Hey, call real Unc. Hey, he Unc.
Look, call real.
I mean, kinda. If
Look,
my
real
sister was to
proud.
have some kids.
Real probably old enough to be my daddy. So let me stop playing. Okay, Mr. Real,
No,
Mr.
Ooh.
Real.
Nah,
Okay.
he Unc. He Unc. He sound like Unc to me.
Unk. Well, that's what doing stuff inside your youth can do to you, so.
Y'all got to remember, I got young parents. Everybody old enough to be my parents. Everybody.
I'm still inside my later last stages of my 30s. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Honey, you 30. I probably can be your grandma. Let's know your parent.
But I'm not 30. But I'm in my later parts of 30.
I was right. Need some more wisdom. Mr. Lounge get Mr. Lounge because he got wisdom in that voice. That matters.
Kinda. I know some stuff though. What? Get it then. Hold on, y'all. Sorry about that.
So,
I have
if
kids older than real.
For real?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I thought y'all was. Oh, I don't even know. I
Me
don't even
too.
think
If you
about
haven't
that.
hit 40 yet, I got a child older than you.
I just didn't. I don't know. I just never thought of your age. I don't think about stuff like that. I never thought about it. Like, oh yeah, y'all could be my mom or grandma. I just never thought about it.
Are
Yeah,
you
you
for
don't have to
real?
think
Because that's
about it.
all I hear. When I talk, that's all I hear.
No, I
Uh,
don't know. It just doesn't cross my mind. Like, I don't know. I just see y'all as, we all, of the same energy talking and trying to build and stay on this path. Like, that's just what I see it as. Like, the way my mind thinks, because if I thought like that, like if I was younger, I used to have this thing where I was like, with people inside their 70s and 80s, like, and I was my teens, I was like, I don't want to talk to them. This is going to be boring. But as I got older, I'm just like, if you're in my energy range and on the same path, then it's just like, why not? That's how I look at it now.
Well, I'm gonna just tell both of y'all something, honey. Age ain't nothing but a number.
Mm-hmm. Well,
For me, it just depends. Like, okay, so everybody know Blue and Miss Alice. They my YouTube buddies, right? I talk to Miss Alice on Miss Alice level, which is Miss Alice level, but I talk to Blue on Blue level.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
Blue
yeah,
is more
yeah,
like a sister. You know what I'm saying? And then I said what I said. I just met her, but now I gotta call her Miss Fancy. So now I gotta talk to her Miss Fancy level. We gonna figure that out though. We gonna
yeah.
figure that out.
Like, how are y'all in your 50s or 60s or something?
No, you're not telling us if you're married. You
You
sure can
how
ask us
really?
how old we
We
are.
gonna ask our
what?
age? Are you serious?
As a
No,
But
far,
we can't
look,
ask him nothing.
All I
yeah,
can
no, no,
tell
no,
you,
no, no, no,
real.
no. Okay, no,
I
I
All
don't.
I can
No,
tell you is that
y'all
I'm
kept
married.
y'all kept bringing it up, bringing it up, and then it sparked interest. Like, I don't think about
you
stuff
was
like that, but
bringing
then
up
it's
spouses, and we brought that up, and you said nothing. So
Yeah.
we're not saying
His his
nothing.
his
and I
actual
asked about it.
response, his actual response was something like that. So y'all tell him something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Something
Something like
okay.
that.
Something like that. Real.
I mean, I really don't want to know. It was just like okay, like oh, I'm a day older than her, but no. And then they're calling you ma'am and Mrs. So I'm just like, well, this is interesting. If this is a factor, how old are y'all?
All right,
That's how I look
all
at it.
right, Unc. But we ain't telling you nothing.
Listen, I'm a proud uncle. I'll be there. Y'all crazy.
He said I'm a proud wait. You gotta say that. You gotta say that again. You gotta say that again, Miss.
What, a proud unk?
No. She said, okay, she got
Yeah,
to
I know the
say
way
it.
she's saying it. Like I'm like she act, but you act like I'm one of them unks with like a 40 ounce and gray on the side of my beard, and just like with a Bluetooth inside my ear, wearing like penny loafers and wearing Juke
I'm from
cologne
the
or
country.
something,
Unc is Unc.
wearing a Kangol hat,
Well,
with a
Unc,
pager.
that's how I imagine you would can't go head on.
Hey, maybe. I mean, have you seen my page? Have you seen me? Have you seen it? My stuff?
Real, I am messing with you, child.
Oh, no, 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 no. I thought you didn't know. I thought you didn't know what I look like. Some people don't. They're like, oh, you have content? Oh, I didn't know. You didn't look how you sounded. Like, that's what I mean. I get that a lot. So it's no offense.
I will say real no, you don't look how you sound. You don't.
I know. Everybody keeps
But
saying it.
it's not a bad thing though, because I kind of imagine you you sound younger to me. You sound younger than me, just a little bit. Like maybe you was about 29.
Mm.
Yeah.
The thing is, like I said, when you do certain things inside life and try to speed your life up, it can make you look older too. There's like stressing and doing this and being inside the service and all that stuff. So I've always kind of been older than people always thought I was older than what I looked. Like it just always been like that. But I don't care. It's just like, oh well, life goes on.
Well, you don't
I
did
figured
Unc
you around
stuff
my
though.
kids' age.
Yeah, no, you don't look old though.
No,
You
you
know, I'm
don't
not
look old,
saying
but you
that.
don't did Unc
Yeah.
stuff, so I'm gonna have to call you Unc.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you
Listen,
did unk stuff.
what is unk stuff? Like when I hear this,
His kids, family, all of
oh,
that.
because to me,
I'm
unk
not calling
stuff,
you Unc. I'm not
like
calling you Unc. I'm calling you got to be.
it got to be.
Got to be
That's
real.
got to be.
I
Mm-mm.
like that.
So
Miss
now
Alice, you slip hanging, Miss Alice.
what's her name? Cheryl Lynn.
Yeah,
That got to
that's
be
what I
real,
say.
lady.
You slip hanging, Miss Alice.
That's my
What you
song.
say? I said what I said.
I said you slip hanging.
Hmm. I know what that means. You crazy.
I thought that was a bad thing, but I guess we could say it in a good way.
Girl, you need to watch Ray Charles movie, okay?
Okay, I'm gonna watch it. Look, even though I already seen it, I'm gonna watch it again.
Y'all is funny. But see, I like this. I like your energy. I mean, and at the end of the day, I know it's in all good fun because I know some people probably think like, oh, he being inside his feelings. Absolutely not. Because I know it's like, it's laughter, it's bringing us together. This is what
See,
makes
real,
this
that's why I
channel
come I call
channel.
you
I don't.
You so dramatic.
I'm not. People want me to be dramatic. They want me to be
No,
dramatic. Like, this
have
bother you, man.
y'all ever seen the Cookout, the
Mm-hmm.
movie?
With
Real, you remind me of the uncle who was talking about the golf ball and the hole. That's who you remind me of.
a golf
Just
ball.
deeply thinking. Remember, he was talking about black grass versus white grass and all of
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's who
yeah.
you remind me
Yeah, you're.
of.
I
I
can see that,
mean,
Ma.
not too far away from it, but I know what you're talking about. I remember that. That's not bad. That's
All
not
right,
bad.
guys. I'm gone for real now. Y'all, it's been real. It's been fun.
Okay.
It's been fun.
Okay,
All
Mrs.
right,
I said what I
Alice.
said.
I
All
catch.
righty.
All right, I'm gonna
Take
try to
it
catch
easy.
wellness on Wednesday too, because I think that's gonna be a great show. So I'm definitely gonna try to.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to catch that too.
Okay.
And have a great day, everybody.
All
You
Oh,
right.
hold
too.
on.
Thank
I said what
you.
I said.
See
Don't leave
you.
yet. Hold on.
Oh,
You got to stay up for a second.
These people would not let me leave today,
we
chat.
never want you to leave.
So, I'm gonna say to you, Vaughn, you're a little bit young, so I'm not. You just became baptized, so I'll say this to Miss Alice, and I said what I said. The two of you, but especially Alice, the fact that you have this platform, and the reason people call you Miss Alice is because you've set the tone. When you're doing God's work and you show it, people see it. So I call you. If I haven't called you, I'll call you Miss Alice. We're around the same age, I think. You're such a blessing in everybody's life, and that's why people call you Miss Alice is because you've been a ministry in so many people's lives, and I want to thank you for that. And I said what I said. Remember, Robert is Jehovah's Witness. I'm United Methodist. We're a different religion, and I'm respectful to everybody's religion, but not everybody uh, relays the same level of respect towards Methodist, uh, especially if other religions. So I will practice courtesy as long as that courtesy is reciprocated by other people. So and also Robert knows as far as my life insurance, he's well aware of how it's set up. We don't do anything without each other's approval. He is the head of the household, regardless of what his religion or mine is. As a head of the household, I wouldn't do anything that he doesn't approve of. So, but he's a nice guy. I would never do anything that he doesn't approve of. As far as legal matters, we would go along with that. But Miss Alice, I want to say you are so. I know I tell you that every time I talk to you, but you are doing God's work, and I think that's such an important thing in today's time, when everybody is doing bad contents and saying bad things on the internet and all that. It's such a blessing that you have been a blessing to everybody. So, and
Well, thank you.
Robert is live because of all the
Hmm.
prayers of everybody here. And that has been so kind. And I apologize, sir. I legit also have ADHD, so I have excuse for forgetting everybody's name. So I apologize.
Well, it's all right.
Uh, but I want to thank everybody, and if you don't uh, believe in prayers, I do. It works. Miss Alice is an example, and how much she's loved by everybody. I'll get off, but thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Marshawn.
Thanks, Marjan.
Thanks, my friend.
Thanks, Marjan. Well, I'm gonna
Thank
say
you.
this. I thought I was the first person to call Miss Alice Miss Alice. I just want to say that. Where Blue at so she can bust me out for,
I know, Blue, come out the bushes. I know you're hiding in there somewhere.
But
Come on now.
I really did think it was me because I gave people nicknames out of respect and other people took them on and some people didn't care for them, but I agree with Marjan. I did start calling her Miss Alice because let's just say the good Lord got knocked some sense into me, and that's what happened. It was like, well, I never called her Alice because I didn't know her, but once I knew her, knew what she was about, it was like, okay, this is Miss Alice, but yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Well, in real life, just about everybody calls me Miss Alice, even some people my age.
That's a good thing.
So why was I scolded?
Because I tell them the same thing. I tell them the same thing. You my age. Why you calling me Miss Alice? But
It is respect and reverence.
I appreciate the respect. I appreciate it.
Yeah, but if they don't want to call you, if they don't want you to call them Mrs. Back or Miss Thing, then that's just crazy. It's like y'all the same age, but don't call me that, but I'm gonna call you that.
Okay, here come the drama, y'all.
Yeah, I'm zipping it.
Here come the drama.
I love y'all.
I'm tickled.
Y'all funny.
Denise, you can call me Alice.
Ooh, Miss Alice.
Y'all are funny.
I know y'all bugged out. Oh goodness. But I'm gonna go ahead and step on down because we'll be up here another 3 hours and be on
We're not doing that.
some Bond / I said what I said time. So we just going
Well, listen, to my defense, I was trying to leave 10-15 minutes ago, real. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true. At least she was saying that she was leaving.
Well, I was trying to.
I think she might have been doing one of Vaughn's numbers. Let me go.
Right.
No, nobody can compare to Vaughn. Nobody.
I know. Nobody got her.
Not even Blue. Blue can't even beat Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
She the MVP of that.
I know. 12-hour sessions. I don't know how she does it.
Yes.
Thank you, Gabe. Oh, so yeah, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all coming on the panel. I appreciate everybody that showed up to the live. Everybody who were in the bushes and listened, who didn't say anything, thank you for your support. Hey, Tina, how are you? You're going to have to catch the replay. We're getting ready to get out of here. But I want to thank everyone who showed up in the chat. And that was Janice, Hudat, Shadow, Charlie's Angel, SBK, Wanda, Foxy to Roxy, Els Endeavor, Ms. Jazzy, Larry, Marjan, Scorpio Mama, Gertrude, Chill Will Crew, Hassan, Tracy, Gabriel, and Tina, and my mods, Vaughn, I said what I said, Abril, Senna, Brill, Shay, and Shanice. And for the people who joined the chat, Real, I said what I said. People who joined the panel, excuse me. Real, I said what I said. Vaughn and Marjan. Thank you all so very much. And again, I want to thank everybody who has supported me. Hold up. I didn't see hold up. Somebody else joined. Oh, it's MJ. I didn't see you. How you doing? Thank you for joining. But we're getting ready to get out of here. Feel free to watch the replay. Again, thanks everyone who has been sending things through my Cash App. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. I have a new little clip that I want to play real quick. And I hope y'all like it. Give me a second, y'all. I'm going to remove this. So here we go with this. Let me know what y'all think of it. Y'all like that?
I'm gonna add.
That's different. I can't. It's different. Huh.
Well, I mean,
I like it, but it's ghetto, Miss Alice.
No, I just said it's different. Like, I
I feel
wouldn't have
like
expected it.
I was
kind of
in the
like it.
hospital and then I got
Yeah.
No, it's
Like, wait
different.
a
But
minute.
like, imagine if she
maybe I
added
should have
something
said
to the end of it. Like,
no.
just like Alice, Blessed Child of God TV. Like something like that.
I feel like I should have said, don't give me your honest opinion. Give me an opinion that I would
yeah,
like.
girl, it was good.
No.
Oh, well,
No,
yeah,
no,
it's
yeah.
fine. Ain't nothing wrong with it at all.
Y'all ain't nothing. Y'all is crazy.
No, girl, go ahead and keep playing that,
No,
girl.
I appreciate y'all's honesty for real. That's just something I just saw that I was thinking.
Now the
What
graphics is
people
good.
like it.
I like the graphics, but the music, I felt
Yeah.
you know,
I was confused. That's why I
But
said,
if
Miss
she
Alice, it's ghetto.
the
if
music.
she had talking with it, like welcome to Alice, Blessed Child
Yeah,
of God TV, like that will make it nice.
the music is scary, and you like Betty Wright. I know you ain't gonna play that song.
I said what I said. All right. Let me play this other one real quick. This is 30 seconds, y'all. I'm done with y'all.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, y'all like that one better?
Yes,
I
yes.
like
Yes.
it. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what make me say it's coffee time. Yeah.
Like today's topic on Alice. Are you afraid to fly? Like coffee. I like that. Yeah.
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 Keep that. Keep that.
She's laughing.
Redo the other one.
I know you ain't gonna play that song.
Y'all acting like she played like that.
I know.
The song like.
Thank you, his MJ.
I
See,
felt-
thank you, his MJ. Thank you.
I feel like
Said
I was
she
on
liked
one
the
of them
first one.
planes, child. No, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, but no, ma'am.
I guess it's dependent on your audience. I mean, I can see where the first one, I kind of liked it, maybe because I'm a guy, but I do like the second one as far as more, it's like, that's that kind of, and then like imagine like a coffee thing coming, like, there with the steam coming off. I think I like that aspect too, though.
Real just trying not to hurt your feelings, Alice.
Miss Alice,
No.
it was given money showers. Ooh yeah. I don't know
All of
about all
that.
that for you.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I'm Betty Wright. I just know you ain't gonna play that song,
Oh
child. I'm just
God, I did this, y'all.
Y'all is
I
good.
did.
Go back to the drawing board, Miss Alice, and you can keep the graphics. I like the music, but the song.
But Sean said she loves everything that I do.
Lord have mercy. I'm finna go, y'all. I see y'all
Marshawn,
Okay,
later.
well, I gotta drop
Marshawn, I think it's time for you to go and take your vacation, baby.
that.
Let me drop down and quit acting up. Let me stop.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
dropping
finna go
down too.
too. I'm finna go. I love you, Miss Alice. I love y'all. I see
Yeah.
I
y'all.
love you.
All right.
Yeah, love y'all too. Y'all be
Bye,
good.
y'all.
All right.
Oh, Again, thanks everybody for joining the live. For those who were in the bushes, for everybody who showed up in the chat, I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget that God loves you even more than I do, and I really do love you all. I want to play the outro music. And then after the music is done, I will be ending the live. Thanks again.